Wagwan again, family. Welcome back to another Unstoppable Recap. Now, this story you're about to listen to, most of you will not believe it. And up until the point where this story was shared on Unstoppable Live and I heard everything that this lady was going through, it wasn't until after this show was aired that I found out how many persons in the world is being affected by this very same problem. What problem am I speaking of? Demons either attempting to sleep with you or sleeping with you. Yes, a lot of people is being plagued with that issue, and that is what this guest shared on Unstoppable Live. She spoke about how for years, 18 years to be exact, demons were sleeping with her. She said she literally feel the spirit climbing in the bed with her and having sex with her. No amount of pastors or Obeah seemed to help because everything she tried failed. Family, take a listen to this one that was shared on Unstoppable Live.
Well, my story goes like this. Nearly, it's going on now for almost 18 years ago. I've uh, I was once married to my daughter's father. The marriage broke up. I separated from him, and it was about some years after before I fell in love again. I met a man, fall in love, found out that he was no good, and after 6 years of living with him, I threw him out. Then 6 years after that, I met another gentleman, fell in love, got married, and we decided to move back to Jamaica, where I'm from. After moving back to Jamaica, lived in Jamaica for 3 lovely years, and everything was fine. Nothing was wrong. And all of a sudden, a girl came to visit the island that I knew, that I once used to work with. And the person whom she was staying with knew that I knew her and brought her to visit me. And when she came, her first remarks was to me, did I know that the fellow who I had left had died? And I said, no. And she said, yes, he passed away 3 years ago. And then she started to tell me what he died from. And I said, I did not know. And I was amazed that she brought that up in front of my husband. However, it didn't bother me. So she left, went back with her friend. And the day after she had left, I was sitting on my settee in my living room and watching the television, and there's a wall picture of a lady just beside the television carrying a baby on her back. And while looking at the television, I glanced at the picture, and all I could see was two great big eyes staring at me from behind the picture. And I was so frightened, I didn't know what to do. And I ran out on the porch, and my husband was sitting on the porch. And he turned to me, the fright that was in me. He said to me, what's up, Doc? But I was so frightened, I couldn't tell him what I had seen. And then it went on and on and on. I've been having strange dreams, trying to get into my bed. I go to bed, I can't sleep. It was all sorts of things happening to me. And then I had to break down one day and told him what was happening to me. And I become tormented by this spirit. I would be sitting on my settee in my living room, and all of a sudden, I could see shadows moving from one room to the other, but it was quickly. And I had I thought, no, I can't take this anymore. I'll have to find out what is happening to me. And I consulted a taxi driver that we used to use. And I told him, I said, Duppy's killing me here. And he said, all right, I knew someone I can take you to find out what is happening to you. And he took me along to see a man, one of those men that cuts the card. And when I saw him the first time he cut the card, and the first reading he came up with was, he said, oh, it's a little man. And he died from leukemia and he used to smoke. And then he cut another card and he said, oh, and he wants to have sex with you. And all these things, what the man is saying, it's true. Those are the things that was happening to me.
Wait a minute.
And
So
then he
so
cut the card.
you wait a minute. So you went to see this reader man, right?
Yes.
You didn't disclose any information about you having an
N-
ex-boyfriend that
Nothing,
died or nothing at all.
nothing at all. He knew nothing at all about me. I have never been to those people before. It was the first time in my life because my friends always called me hard believing Thomas because I didn't believe in those things. And my father didn't. You couldn't tell my father about those things when I was growing up. And I came just like him, didn't believe.
Now,
However,
before you continue, what country was this happening in at the time when you were seeing these
in
spirits?
Jamaica,
So you
Jamaica,
were in Jamaica, okay, and this was
yes,
this. Mhm.
I- I'd moved from England back to Jamaica because my husband's had made redundant, and he said his working days was over in England. He wanted to go back to Jamaica to live, so we decided to move back there.
Okay,
All right, and then the next time the man cut the card again, he said, "Oh, and he's not alone. He's walking with a coolie woman." And then him cut again, and he said, "Oh, and they set him on you. They set him on you." And him cut the card again, and he said, "Oh, and you can't keep any money." And those were things that was happening. However, he said to me that he could do something to help me to get rid of the spirit that was following me around. And what he did, he said, I can come to your house and do something for you. I hesitant. I didn't really want that, but because I was suffering, I agreed. And all I paid him was 100 Jamaican dollar. Now, if anybody knows how the Jamaican money runs, you will know that 100 Jamaican dollar hasn't don't bear any weight. There's no value there. And he came. He would come in on his own. I had to go out the road and meet him and bring him in to my community. And after he came to the house, he read the Psalms. I can't quite remember now. It was Psalm 7, and he put down some pink crystals around the home, and he gave me some, and he says, when I shower, I must mix it in a bowl and pour it over me. And I did that. And on the night when I went to bed, because we had to be sleeping with the Bible in the bed, and my husband was putting up garlic behind the door. I was so scared because of the things that was happening. And after that, after I shower with the crystal, went to bed, and you could definitely feel something was trying to get to my body, but it was bouncing off, like something was bouncing it off. And that went on and went on and went on, and it had quieted down for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, it started up again. So I said to the driver, this thing is happening again. So he took me back to the same man, and I paid him another $100. And he cut the card again, and he said, "Oh, the little man is coming back." And I says, "That's what I thought, because the strange things are happening again." and he said that he would come out and do something else to stop him from coming. But what he was going to do, I don't know. I didn't want to be involved. He said he was just coming out to mix up some poison with food and try and catch him in the poison
Give
with
us
the
an
poison.
give us an
So
idea of some of the things that this spirit was or is, because this is an ongoing situation
that
presently, right? Give
yes,
us an idea of some of the things
I
that this
was
spirit is doing.
going to bed, and you could definitely feel him getting into the bed, even with my husband in the bed, and he was trying to have sex with me. And but this the good thing about it, whenever time that would occur, is like the good Lord would, whether it's the good Lord or the angel that He sent to guard over us at night, would always wake me up just in time, so that that didn't happen. I was, when you lie down and you shut your eyes, most people see darkness. Even now I'm talking to you, I don't see darkness. What I see as soon as I shut my eyes, like faces in front of me, bright eyes, teary eyes, trees, cloud, things. I'm seeing things like that, like somebody's trying to play with me. And even now, as I am talking to you this moment, this is what is happening. And all right, um, when I didn't want the man to come back to my home. So what I decided to do, I contacted my pastor, and he came out, and I told him what was happening. A Church of England pastor. He came out. He did cleanse the home with holy water, and he prayed with me, and he went right around the home and he cleansed it, and that was it. And that didn't help. All right, I decided to reach out now to another church, which is called the Great Universal Church. I went because I heard that they were like stronger, the faith was stronger. And I went and I sought the leader and I told him what was happening. And he says, well, I have to visit the church for a little while before they could come out and cleanse my home. Sorry.
How long has
After
this been going
visited,
on? How long has this been going on? How many years now?
this has been going on now for 18 years.
Wow.
After he came and he visited, they came out. He decided to come out now the one day with his secretary, and he came to the home and he cleansed it, and he turned to me and he said, somebody is trying to work witchcraft on you. Those were his words. And even then, that did not help. I was still having problems, never stopped. Wherever I go, there's always a shadow around me. If I am right now, if I get up to go to the bathroom, the shadow is either behind or before or beside me. There are like little faces up in the ceiling, and they move about. When I try to look the one way, they look the other. And as soon as I come to lie down, and if I turn my back on the outside, I can feel like somebody kicked me in my back. What they are doing now, they are tormenting me, because when I try to go to sleep, I am getting hardly any sleep. Because when I try to go to sleep, hands are going over, fingers going over my eyelid, like they're trying to close my eyelids down. Sometimes when I wake up, when I do get a little sleep and I wake up in the middle of the night, I can see like a shadow just move away from me, jumped away from me. Sometimes there are things right now that is going on the wall, like I see blue lights. Sometimes when I look in the ceiling, it's like snow is falling and like mist is coming off and the room becomes cold. It is awful. I brought in another church since I've been here, and a Pentecostal church came out, and they had three different sessions in one day. And when they came in the bedroom, the one lady got into Holy Ghost spirit, and she was speaking in tongues, and she was speaking to it, and it was speaking back to her. And her remarks was, "What you mean you're not going anywhere?" She said, "You have to come out." "How you mean you're not going? You have to leave." And they came and they did all what they could, and that didn't help. Since I've come back to live in England, I've been to see, I've instead of being a Church of England member now, I've become a Baptist member to see if this faith would be stronger to help me to get rid of this demon. And the pastor came out, and he did what he had to do, and nothing happens. It's just the same. Nothing is working.
Over the years, you said this has been going
So
on for 18 years. I'll let you continue in a minute. You said this has been going on for 18 years. Has anyone
yeah.
else ever been able to see these spirits that you're seeing, or you're the only one that can see and hear them?
I'm the only one that is saying it, because even when I lived in Jamaica and with my husband, and when I would see the lights on, and I would say one time he sort of glanced a little bit of it, but it moves quickly. I am the only person that this thing is revealing itself to and making all these signs to. No one else is seeing it.
And you're presently living alone?
Yes. And since I've moved back to this country, it is worse.
All
Because
right,
my
so
husband died in Jamaica, and I had to move back for medical reason. And I've been living back here now for 2 years. I have never done anybody anything wrong in my life, not that I can remember it. All I ever do was help people. When I lived in Jamaica, I was a very helpful person to the people around me in my community. When their children couldn't go to school because school fee wasn't couldn't be they couldn't pay the school fee, I would have reached out to them. Some would have paid me back, some didn't. It didn't matter as long as the children were going to school. If they didn't have anything to eat, I would reach out to them. It's like at one time I thought everybody was pointing people to my door because they would come to my door and they would beg for food and money. I would mostly give them the food. And if they didn't get it, I noticed they wouldn't go move on. They would just turn back. So I thought at one time they were probably saying, go to that gate, you'll get it. If you don't get it there, you won't get it anywhere else. I was a strong member of the Mothers Union in the church. I used to help in the church, provided like uh, rice and different things for the church because there were poor children and people living around the area. And we would have to go out and seek the children who weren't going to school and try and get them into school, help the parents to get them to come to Sunday school, do like things with them, have like twice a year would have a school party, and they just give them little treats to sort of help the parents. So I am not a bad person.
someone
I
in
am
the
a good
chat,
person. Well, I think,
one of the
pardon?
one of the viewers in the chat asking, is it only one spirit you're seeing, or is it multiple spirits?
I think there are more. There is more. Because there are times when I think the whole cemetery is in my home, and it's in the ceiling. It's in the ceiling. It's going from wall to wall. There are times when I just see black spots going from one corner to the other. It is so bad that I get very little sleep because I am afraid to go to sleep. Even night before last night, what was I just see a hand push in front of me quickly, and it was taken quickly, quickly. Whatever they do it very quick, very quick.
This
And
woman,
I was telling you
this woman that you
about.
said you saw, who came and told you that your ex had died. Was this a close friend of yours? Was it somebody that you didn't get along well with? Who was she?
I didn't. She wasn't my friend. What it was, we used to work together. She was a co-worker, but she was never my friend. I only used to speak, say hello, and that was it. And I was amazed because the man I had left, he was a bus driver. Also, her husband is a bus driver, and they all belong to the same bus garage. And I was amazed to know how much she had known about him. And I find it strange, and it only dawned on me only a couple of months ago that I wondered if he was following her, and then he came and whether she brought him there or what. I never thought of it before. It's only like since the beginning of the year, and I've been wondering what could have caused this demonic. It's a demonic spirit. It's not an ordinary spirit. I'm telling you. The one night it tried to hold my right hand, and it was like electric shock. I fought with it in my sleep, and it's like electric shock had gone through my right hand. Then it tried it not so long ago on my left, and I was able to wake up and fight it off. It is awful. I have never ever come across anything like it in my life. And I didn't tell my story to many people because I didn't want them to think I am going crazy. I am not.
That is the next question I was about to ask you, because a lot of the viewers in the comment section is saying that maybe you need to speak with someone professionally. That's what a lot of the commenters are saying. So, have you ever spoken to anyone professionally about it?
No, I've spoken with the doctor, like I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Not so long ago, I wasn't very well. I thought I was getting a pain in my chest, and I thought I was having a heart attack. And I called the paramedic, and after talking with me on the phone, she realized it was indigestion, and I too had started to begin. It was indigestion because as soon as I started to talk and move about, I was burping and the pain was moving. And whenever you have a moving pain, they said it's not heart attack. Heart attack pain does not move. However, after she finished talking to me, she said, "We are not going to come out to you now, but if it happens again, just call us and we'll be there." And she turned to me and she says, "Are you sleeping much?" And I says, "No." And I began to tell her about the demonic spirit that is in my home, tormenting me. And I said to her, "I have not told many people about it because I don't want you to think that something is wrong with my head, because there's nothing wrong with my head. It is real what I'm experiencing." And she says, after talking to her and for a little while, she says, no, she believes me because there are a lot of people are experiencing that type of thing in their home these days. And the only advice she could give to me is to try and get on the internet and see if I could get some help. Right? Well, after a few weeks and it was getting worse, I decided that I can't live like this. I am fed up of this now. Let me try and get some help. And I went on YouTube and I Google um help. I says somebody to move spirits from my home. and a number popped up, and I rang the number, and a man answered it, and he said, I told him what was happening, and he said, I asked him, I says, would you be able to help me? And he said, yes, he can. And after negotiation, he wanted money up front, and I says, no, it doesn't work like that. Um, my understanding is that I would pay so much down, and when you finish the job, the rest would be paid. And he kept saying no, he would, and I says no. I says, I don't do business like that. And after a long weeks of negotiating, he decided to do so, get so much down up front and the rest paid after. And he was long distance, and I paid the first down payment. It wasn't a lot of money, frankly speaking, but it's the principal. He didn't do the job because he didn't know nothing. He used to have been prayer twice a day, and the funny thing about it, the prayer was in a different language. So I didn't understand what he was saying, and I asked him not to do it in his language, to do it in a language that I would understand. And I don't think he knew how to do that, because I think he was a scammer. However, it didn't work. He scammed me.
A lot of the viewers in the comments saying, why didn't you just move from wherever you're living, move from the house? Tell them how many times you have moved and where you've moved to, and this thing keeps following you.
I've only moved one. I've only moved once. I've moved back from Jamaica to England. Um, but when I used to live in Jamaica and I used to come back on holidays, all I've ever do is be kind and helpful to people. If you see the phone calls that I get on my WhatsApp each day coming from Jamaica, people telling me how much they miss me. And I don't know why this is happening to me. I don't know. I don't know. I asked the Lord to show it to me in vision. Why is this happening? I have not done any wrong to no one. All I ever do in my life is to be kind. So it's I don't know
And viewers, I'll have
if
you
it's a
understand
cross
this.
that
I'll have you viewers understand this, that as strong as you hear her speaking with me right now, the first time that she shared her situation with me, she literally broke down on the phone and was in tears because this thing is seriously troubling her and she is emotional because of it. Now, good news is that after this story aired on Unstoppable Live, Minister Smith actually reached out to me and told me he could help her. He reached out to her, and then after they did whatever it is that they needed to do, she contacted me personally and told me that whatever they did seemed to be helping. So that's at least a good news. Family, if you want to catch more stories like these, click the link in the description. It will take you over to Unstoppable Live, where you can catch us while we go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 p.m. Call in, share your views, give your feedback, and please remember to hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the subscribe button right here on the recap channel, so once we drop another recap, you will not miss it. Until the next Unstoppable recap, stay strong, stay motivated, but most of all, remain unstoppable.
Unstoppable.